Madness, it's upon us. It's inching closer. Night after night, day after day, college hoops front and center. So much to discuss, so much to get caught up on, so much to preview. It is that time of year, boys and girls. Hello, good evening. It's the College Basketball Catch-Up Show. I'm Sean Brace. He's Ryan Beef Coyle. Dude knows a thing or two about a thing or two when it comes to the college hardwood, and we will prove it. Like we did last night. Great calls across the board. What'd you go, 3-1 in those championship games? 4-0. Oh, okay. Good Lord. Sprite. The zero sugar Sprite. It's good. 0 calories. Tastes just like Sprite. The thing that I want to know about these drinks are like, if there's 0 calories, 0 sugar, how do they make it taste so damn good? And then you ever have the sugar-free root beer one too? It's like, it's literally candy, even though it's sugar-free and 0 calories. Like, how? So is it good for you? Like, not good for you, but is it all right that you're drinking that? Beef said he's going to lose his shit on this. It's all right, though. Oh, look at this guy coming in. Oh, my God, it's that Stone Cold's music. Is that Stone Cold's music? No, you got to
Stone Cold.
There you go. Beef literally has the worst internet out of anybody ever. Now he lives.
I was just listening to you read about Sprite, so I just wanted to make sure you weren't reading about Sprite by yourself before Beef gets in.
Well, Beef was in, and then he fell out.
That's all right. I don't want you to be on here by yourself. Sprite guy? Are you anti like when they started moving to like Starry and stuff like that? Like, will you still drink like the off-brand Starry, or like does it have to be a Sprite?
No, Starry was good.
I've never been a Sprite guy.
Look,
makes me burp too much.
I'm drinking. See, I like soda, but I like the diet 0 sugar.
There he is. He's back. Let's get the basketball guys in here. I'm gonna get out of here. Have a good stream, boys.
There he is, Luke Arcane.
Hey, we're live. Technology.
What's going on?
I love madness.
You seem much better now.
But I love madness.
All right, let's start it over. You ready?
Yep.
Hang on. We'll start the stream over. Hang on. You ready? All right. 3, 2. Bring it on in. College Basketball Catch-Up Show. You see the name. I am Sean Brace. He is Ryan Beef Coyle. It is his time to shine, as he did last night. 3 for 4 in the championship games. Tonight, we got a championship game. We'll see if we get another ticket punched. Who's heading to the big dance? We got some other big conference tournament games. Not the best matchups, but still, it's fun. And, of course, it's been front and center since 11:30 this morning. Not quite madness just yet, but a nice appetizer, of course, getting us ready for all things March Madness starting next week, starting on Sunday, Selection Sunday. With that, Beef, we got a lot to discuss as far as games going off. Right here, right now, live action at 8:17 at night. Give us a play or two that you're eyeing up currently in pocket.
I like Rutgers. They should be tipping off shortly. They are going off after that Ohio State-Iowa game ended. But I like Rutgers tonight. I think you can make an argument that Rutgers, whoever they play the rest of the Big Ten tournament, they'll have the most 2 talented guys at all time. And they weren't great the whole season. They've looked good in spurts, but they have 2 talented guys in a tournament setting. All you got to do is win and move on. And I think Rutgers has the pieces to do just that. They're playing a USC team who's underperformed as well this year. And Rutgers just took care of this USC team just a couple weeks ago. So I like Rutgers tonight. And also my guys over at Merrimack, been riding them all year. Opened up as a 2.5-point favorite today, all the way up to 4.5 now. So those are 2 plays I like for the nightcap tonight.
All right, currently in action. Well, first of all, USC and Rutgers about to get off here at 8:30. So for the people that are out there right now, USC a point favorite, 152.5 is our total here. currently in action at this point in time. And oh, by the way, Villanova will be tipping off just in about to 8:30. No, 9:00 tip, 8:30 pregame coverage. That's right, on the Gambler. Kansas State and Baylor, interesting game there. Baylor lumping up Kansas State 52-36. Any thoughts on that one, Beef?
Baylor was in kind of a must-win spot. They're a team that is still in the tournament as of now. They're in kind of the first 4 buys, so not having to go to Dayton as of right now. But that was a game that they couldn't afford to lose. Just kind of important for them to win. I think with a win there, they should feel safely in the field as we approach Selection Sunday.
All right. And then we got LSU and Mississippi State. Of course, all eyes on the SEC. Anything for you in this one? Mississippi State up by 15 currently with 16 minutes to go in the second half.
Yeah, I had the over in that one. I think it was like 144.5, I believe was what it finished at. And it's sitting right there as the live number right now. LSU kind of just one of those. Them and South Carolina are really the only 2 dead teams in the SEC. Like Texas with a big win today over Vanderbilt. They stay alive in the NCAA tournament picture. Mississippi State, I think they're a team that could use like a big time win like this, a comfortable win. They're a team that's really struggled over the second half of the season. So Mississippi State to kind of get some good juju, get some motivation, kind of get their swagger back as they go into the NCAA tournament. Looking like a good win for them thus far tonight.
Talk to me about Villanova 10.5 versus Seton Hall.
I actually took Seton Hall. I just think it's a game. If you remember last year, even Villanova, they had DePaul. It was going into the tournament. Villanova was looked at as like, all right, maybe they still have a fighter's chance to make the NCAA tournament. I think they kind of enter it with the same situation tonight, and they needed a near buzzer beater by Justin Moore last year to win that game. I'm not saying this game's going to be the same, but I do think Seton Hall keeps it within the number. I don't think that they're going to win that game. I'm at plus 10.5, but I do like them to keep it within the number. Villanova just tends to make it interesting. So I like Seton Hall to add a little chaos and keep Villanova fans on the edge of their seat tonight.
All right. What about SMU and Syracuse? 9:30 tip-off. SMU, a 9-point favorite. 150 is our total. Game being played in Charlotte.
Got nothing on that right now. Syracuse, give them a little bit of credit. They were really struggling at the beginning of ACC play, and that's saying something considering how bad the ACC has been this year. SMU was on the bubble, was a team that was projected in the tournament for a lot of the year, and they've really fallen off. So interested to see if SMU can maybe go on a run, put themselves back in the bubble conversation over these next few days. But if you're going to make me take a play on that one, I kind of like the over. Syracuse has scored the ball pretty decently over the past few weeks and started playing better. So nothing official on me for that one as of right now. But if I had to pick a side or a bet in that one, I would lean toward the over of 150.5 tonight.
All right. With all the conference tournament winners parlayed together, you put out a ticket that pays out a significant amount if it does hit. So far, everybody's still involved. Nobody knocked out just yet.
Yeah, I believe the only team I had it was Iowa State. Yeah, so my other guys are tipping off tomorrow, but Iowa State won their first one. Clemson, I think the ACC outside of Duke, you could take a flyer on one of those teams at the bottom of the bracket. Iowa State, I think, is a team that always plays well in the conference tournament. Utah State's a team I really like. I think they could win 2 games if they get to the NCAA tournament. Illinois, I'm buying a lot of stock in them. They might be like my surprise Final Four team, maybe as like a 7 or 8 seed. And then UConn. I'm just not ready to write them off yet in Dan Hurley in a tournament setting. So a little fun wager there, root on some teams, and maybe find yourself at the window with a lottery ticket.
All right. As far as the results already coming in earlier today, anything surprise you from earlier today?
Winner of the day. I'll go winner of the day so far and loser of the day. Winner of the day, the Texas Longhorns. 2.5-point underdog against Vanderbilt in a must-win spot if they wanted to extend their season. I think Vandy is still going to be in the dance regardless, but Texas needed a win, and they got a pretty encouraging one today against a good Vanderbilt squad, especially coming off a really bad loss at home to Oklahoma on Saturday night as a 5.5-point favorite. For them to come back and be able to figure it out and get this win today, that was big to give their season some more life. Still don't know if they're in the tournament as of now. One more win, I think, would probably get them in. But they're the winner of the day thus far. And loser of the day, I would say West Virginia. Lose to the 16 seed Colorado as a 6.5-point favorite. they're still like firmly in according to Lenardi's projections. I don't know why. This West Virginia team hasn't shown me anything all season. They're one of those teams that every year the bracketologists have like a team that's like safely projected in, and they wind up missing. I remember Louisville a handful of years back was that team. I think West Virginia could be that team this year. They don't really move the needle for me. They got guys missing some time with injuries as of right now too. So with that loss today, I think we could see West Virginia maybe on the outside looking in. But Texas, I think, what was kind of your winner of the day and maybe put themselves back on the right side of the bubble.
Yeah, sure as hell wasn't Arkansas as far as winner of the day was concerned. 4.5, and they squeak out a 4-point win after being up by double digits with probably about 12 minutes to go in the second half. It looked like they were absolutely going to roll. And then all of a sudden they struggled down the second half, could not close out against South Carolina, and a 4-point win. So if you had an Arkansas ticket on a neutral floor, I didn't think that they would struggle putting away South Carolina, but they did. And that is frustrating, to say the least. Speaking of frustrating, it looks like Mississippi State's coach is chewing. No, is that LSU? I don't know. I can't really tell you. I'm colorblind right now. I think that's Mississippi State's head coach. But, man, he was chewing them out in the huddle. Do you know Mississippi State's head coach?
Chris Jans.
Yeah, that's who it is. Nice call. Ryan Beef Coyle, don't doubt him. All right. Let me ask you this, because Stanford Steve and Scott Van Pelt were talking about this. Essentially, like the people that already put the brackets together, they already know the seating's done on Friday. Like, it doesn't matter what happens over the weekend, conference tournament play, seating is done on Friday. And some of these teams won't even suit up until Friday. So it's like, wait a minute, what are we doing here? With that being said, who are the 1 seeds?
Still, I mean, because some of these teams are like, I think it's going to come down to the SEC, but some of these teams are still got to play over these next few days. Like, I still think Bama maybe had the best win of the season on Saturday at at Auburn. Florida has had a handful of impressive wins as well. Tennessee too. Michigan State, I think you can make an argument for, but all the SEC schools and Michigan State, I think those are your last 3 teams kind of in the mix, or last 4 teams mix for that final 1 seed. All their championship games are on Sunday. So like you're saying, does it really even matter, or is it kind of their minds made up? I mean, I definitely think we have Houston locked in that 4th spot, Michigan State, Florida, Alabama, Tennessee. I think if they're going to pick right now, I think they're going to go Alabama. They tend to reward these teams with the super strong schedules, and Bama, I think, tested themselves in the non-conference maybe more than any team in the country this year. When you look at their schedule from top to bottom. So if you made me pick a team right now, I would say Alabama. I think their combination of impressive wins as well as playing in the SEC as well as their non-conference schedule as well, I would give them the nod there.
All right. Anyone on your card right now locked in as the 2? Do you have anyone locked in as a 5? What are some of the ones that you think are a lock at this point in time?
I still think it's kind of in motion just because teams can flip back between a 4 and a 5, something like that. Michigan State's a team that I don't think, regardless what happens this weekend, they don't fall below the 2 line. I think they'll be a 2. I think St. John's as well is locked into a 2 seed. As long as they win their first game in the tournament, I think that they should be a 2 seed. Regular season Big East champ, only going to finish with 4 or 5 losses at most. Those are 2 kind of the top teams there. It's looking like UConn, as I've seen a lot, is like an 8 seed. None of the 1 seeds are going to want to see UConn if they win their first matchup. So that's something to keep an eye out for as well, because it's like, oh, our gift. And same thing with like Gonzaga. Gonzaga is going to finish as a top 10 team at KenPom, and they're probably going to be an 8 or 9 seed. So you're saying, like, I have a historically great season, and my gift is to play a top 10 team according to predictive metrics.
You're like a computer. You're in and out. The connection shot. It's all right. We got a lot off our plate. We did 10 minutes. We got to
get rid of them.
I don't know. I don't know what you could do. Right? You got the extender today, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it's me.
Worked for 30 minutes earlier.
Now it's working. Now you're locked up. All right, we're going to call it. Hey, look, we're going to go live on Sunday from the studio in-house, breaking down the bracket, getting an early jump on that. We're going to do that Sunday night. And who knows, we might get together beforehand. But look, bottom line is it's here. Madness is here. We'll be talking about it tomorrow. Sam Oster is going to be joining me on the Daily Ticket at 3 p.m. You'll be hearing Beef as well, featured throughout the course of the week and next week. So make sure you stay locked to the Gambler. Beef, we'll pay your internet bill. Peace.